So, everybody loved Toy Story, no debate about that. Then they all loved it again, and again, and that was the last time they loved it. Now who could forget Buzz Lightyear to the rescue? That was a slapper. Or so I've heard. You know, I never actually played this past the first few levels growing up. See, everybody always has such great things to say about this game, yet I rarely ever hear anything said about the original on the 16-bit Sega and Super Nintendo systems. So I say that it's time for us to investigate. Developed by Psygnosis and Traveller's Tales, releasing in late 1995 for North America and mid-96 for Europe, it was a late release for the era with the 32-bit Saturn and PlayStation 1 already on store shelves at the time, with the N64 right around the corner. The game was met with generally positive reviews praising its impressive visuals and gameplay variety, however difficulty was a problem for many kids, so much so that the game was revised from its US release to include a password continue option when it dropped in PAL regions. Yeah, this launched without a password system in '95. What were they thinking? Now this game was very generously sent in by Radio Tales a few years ago on game testing, so thank you very much for the donation. To my understanding, the Sega version of this game includes one additional level over the Super Nintendo game, which I'm really interested to see what that entails. But for today's video, I'm also being joined by a very special guest, so what do you say, partner? How about we get started?
Hey, howdy, hey, I am looking good.
Hey, howdy, hey, let's get started! Man, Woody is checking out those juicy pork chops over there. Try to keep the snake in your trousers, cowboy. Starting us off in Andy's bedroom, the toys are preparing for the birthday surveillance, like in the movie, and I've got to say, these are some crispy definition images for the time. You can actually see what you're looking at, but it's a shame that this isn't reflected as well within the actual game, as the entire thing has been washed in a bland mix of brown sepia tones. Anyway, aside from that, you know, I'm quite impressed by these graphics. For outdated hardware in '95, Toy Story is pushing the limits of 3D in this 2D side-scrolling game. The way the furniture is made to look inside of this scrolling bedroom, the different layers on sprites, it's all very impressive. If you've ever stumbled into the YouTube channel GameHut, run by John Burton, a former Traveller's Tales dev, he helped to make this game back in the day, and there are some incredibly informative videos over on his channel about how these graphics were achieved, being inspired by a new generation of side-scrollers on 32-bit hardware, and then striving to prove that this was possible even on 16-bit systems. Definitely check those out once you're done here. I'll drop the links below this video. But listen, I know that graphics were a big talking point during this era, but for me, they don't make a game. And man, the first few levels of gameplay here is kinda lame. You pretty much walk to the right, interact with a few basic objects. The animations are nice, but aside from using Woody's pull string as a lasso and jumping around, there really isn't much going on. And speaking of, the jumping is bad. This dude gets no height, and you can never tell what parts of the background can actually be used as platforms and what's just there as decoration, meaning that you've got to hop all about like a lunatic and risk taking damage from the various evil toys throughout the level. The anxiety-inducing music doesn't help either. This is like if the word calamity had a soundtrack. Now to its credit, the interactive presentation, where we have to help the toys hide away before Andy brings Buzz up to the bedroom for the first time, is an interesting touch, but the whole thing feels a bit clunky and needlessly over-explanatory. Movie games are best when they expand upon the source material rather than literally copy every scene over to gameplay. Once Buzz arrives, he and Woody set off on a race, and I guess this is supposed to be the falling with style scene, but oh my god, look at this! You've got to swing around on hooks and shit? Ah, fuck, I can't get up! I can't get up! This is madness! Look at Buzz, smug asshole. Oh, this whip ability is just useless. It's slightly delayed, meaning that you're likely to miss your mark half of the time, but thank God we made it to the end of that level. Why does he look so goofy? Is he drunk? The man needs his joints repaired or something. While you are sleeping, you have a bad dream about a huge Buzz Lightyear with real lasers. Try to defeat this illusion to wake Woody from his worst nightmare.
You don't want to be in the way when my laser goes off. Take that!
Oh, I don't like it. I'm scared. This first boss is based on a cut scene from the movie, actually, where Woody has a nightmare, but I kinda wish they'd cut this from the game as well. It's weirdly difficult for a first boss. Your timing has to be pixel perfect, which, like I mentioned, this attack sucks. You might as well be fighting him with a loose spaghetti strand. For a character called Woody, he sure has a limp noodle. Ugh, game over. Wait, game over? Are you shitting me? You get 5 hits, 3 lives, and once they're all gone, tough titties. Man, no wonder people complained about the difficulty back in the day. Why are so many older games like this? Do you even want people to play the damn thing? The passwords don't really help anyway because the levels are broken down into different chapters, so I can't just easily get back to the boss fight, no. Instead, I've got to do the whole platforming thing again, hide the toys, race Buzz around the room, and then only after I defeat Nightmare Buzz does it give me the continue code. And it's just stupid because I know that you can collect continues, they're listed in the help section on the main menu, but where the hell are they? I have no idea, so because of that, we're just going to have to brute force through this game. Next up, we've got to use RC to literally hit and run Buzz around the room and out of the window. The controls are a little bit jank, and anything you touch kind of springs you into a spin out, but aside from that, the graphics and the little 3D features are really impressive on this. I just wish that I could say the same for the main platforming stages. So many times you'll be walking forward only to get roadblocked, so then you've got to backtrack, find somewhere to climb up the environment and try to make your way across the very vertical structure of these levels. In a good platformer, that would be a fun challenge, but I'm not even out of the house levels yet, and I'm already sick of it. With the camera being so zoomed in on the action, most of the level you can't even see what's above you. It's the same case when we ride on Rex to escape from the other toys. This could be a fun chase, but you've got next to no reaction time. This leads us out to a second encounter with Buzz under the car at the gas station. Or as we say in Australia, the servo mate. Look at this guy's animations. You're not a Terminator, you're a toy! Then he charges like a grumpy little pig or something. Nothing I do seems to hurt him, so you're just stuck in limbo with this until you figure out that you can whack this tire around. Man, that is a small tire. Did Barbie lose a wheel off of her dream car? Now the first time you do this, you assume, well, I've got to just knock the tire into him, but it just never seems to work, no matter how hard I try, and there's not a whole lot more to work with here. But the thing is, you are actually supposed to hit him with this tire. It just so happens you need to do it in such a pixel-precise manner that it traps Buzz, and then you can land a hit. How the fuck? Well, actually, why the fuck is a better response. What a stupid idea for a boss fight. Hit the object into the other guy, and he's gonna be really fussy about whether it's gonna work or not. Did I mention the limp noodle? Like, this isn't impossible, but it's just strenuous. I'm already not enjoying this game, but believe it or not, we're pretty much at the halfway point now. This is when the devs were like, oh yeah, these toys are meant to be hiding from the humans, so now we have to scuttle along the floor of Pizza Planet without being seen by all the kids running around. You know, it's a nice touch, I can always appreciate attention to detail, but man, can this level just be over, please? Nothing is happening. Now we need to climb up into the claw machine, and fuck me dead, this is some apeshit accurate platforming if I've ever seen it. The timing of moving platforms, Woody's pathetic jump, the ants in Bug's Life can jump higher than this guy. And the colour palette again makes everything mush in together. It's such a brutal stage already, and while there are a few checkpoints, they're not evenly placed throughout the level, which leaves the largest and most difficult stretches of terrain requiring a meticulous approach to when you need to play it safe, or deciding when it's just easier to take a hit and make it by on that post-hit invincible flashing. Oh my god, I'm glad you're playing through this stage, because I would have lost my shit by now. I mean, what are your thoughts on the game so far? Oh god, yeah. Truer words have never been spoken. But hey, if you get through that, then you get to play Doom! Yeah, Doom in a Toy Story game. Now that's what I'm talking about. Oh, hell yeah! I finally get to let out all of my frustrations on this damn game. Man, do I wish that's what was actually going on here, but no. Unfortunately, it's just a crappy maze going through the claw machine looking for all the little alien dudes, and yeah, it's really not good. Did you ever play that Jurassic Park game on Super Nintendo? It reminds me a little bit of that, and that's not a good thing. You wander around this first-person maze, which I will admit is graphically impressive. It functions quite nicely, but there is nothing to do here. All of this technical achievement just to pick up some aliens and take them into the center of the claw machine? Ugh, now that's an ominous sight to behold right there. Nightmare Buzz has a new contender for the freakiest visual to come out of this game. But man, I just don't get it. Why put in the effort to create a level like this when you're not even gonna do anything with it? Now, if this was a maze where you were being hunted by the claw or some shit and tap into that horror element, then that would have been really cool to see. But no, instead, for the claw machine boss, we get a shit show beyond comprehension. So, we've got to stop Sid from winning Buzz, and how do we do that? Knocking shit around, of course. What is this bizarre fixation with bouncing objects across the screen? It's not fun. It's a pain in my ass, and this claw moves so damn quickly that if you miss your first shot, then you're far past fucked. Buzz slowly gets dragged to the right of the screen, and once he's gone, you lose. What's the point of all this? We all know that Sid gets Buzz anyway, so even if we do win the fight, we're all still losers for having played this game. Now, if this part of the game was more like an interactive cutscene, then that could have actually been revolutionary in video game storytelling if the adventure continued regardless of the outcome, but no, you just do this 4 times, and then a secret 5th time that I wasn't prepared for and failed, meaning that I've got to do the entire thing over again. Finally, after all of that, we get to Sid's house. Fuck Sid, fuck his house, burn it to the ground. Man, you're looking at this and probably thinking, damn, shit get kinda crazy, but let me tell you, this is video game hell. There are hazards everywhere, crazy platforming challenge, no room to breathe, even all of the enemies, they're too low to hit without having to duck first, which makes you prone to other attacks on screen. You need to keep moving as fast as you can, but you also need to slow down and not get reckless, because as soon as you think things are going okay, Sid comes along and burns your ass, which makes you run uncontrollably until you douse the flame in a bowl of cereal. Oh, man, this is relentless. Okay, look, I've had some harsh words, but there are these little details which keep me thinking that, man, you know what? They tried to bring the Toy Story world to life, and it's cute things like this which make me glad that I've put up with this game as long as I have. But this is where the fun stops. Now we need to rescue Buzz, who is strapped onto the rocket, and let me tell you, this level, which is the final platforming stage of the game by the way, this is honestly one of the worst and most difficult levels that I think I've ever played in a game. So you walk along for a bit, and before you know it, you encounter this giant tower. A fucking monolith of stacked boxes, which means you've got to climb over them somehow. This is when, in the final stage of the game, we're forced to learn this rope swinging bullshit. For Christ's sake, can you see how munted this is? Like, I don't know if it shows well in the gameplay footage, but man, you've got no idea how bad this is unless you've actually played it. Hell, I've played it, and I still can't grasp the damn thing. I mean, for starters, you have to jump up to even be able to reach the hooks, so there goes all of your precision. And you can't just simply swing from one to the next like in a normal game because he won't just reach out and grab the damn thing. Not to mention, you can't really aim your spaghetti strand either, so the only way to climb up these things is frame by frame accuracy. You jump, lasso, swing, and jump again, while oh so gently tapping the arrow button to turn yourself around so that you can grab the next hook. Rinse and repeat for eternity. Just look at how awful this is. I can't get over it. Not since that one shitty jump in Echo the Dolphin have I ever been so stumped by platforming in a game before. And then later on, you've got to juggle enemies as well while you try to reach the tip of this hook with the tip of your dick. It's so frustrating. If only they'd just buffed his jump that tiny little bit, then maybe this would have been more forgiving. God, you jump like such a bitch. I'll teach you how to jump. Oh man, that was a brutal level. It was a workout of the brain, the fingers, and my psyche, but we did it. We're at the end of the level. Is this going to be a cutscene, or... Oh no, we're still playing. What? Oh my god, this is freaky. Oh, what? Oh, and now I have to do the entire level again, but only after I do the whole first level again. What the fuck, man? I know that Sid is supposed to be the bad guy in this movie because he breaks all of his toys, but no joke, if I grew up playing with this shit, then I would be turning into Sid right now. I mean, people already say that I kind of look like him, which is a really nice thing to say. From all the blind leaps of faith, busted-ass platforming, and otherwise weak gameplay, I can safely say that this game is an absolute hell to play through. I hate it so much. This is intended for children of the 90s. They're not going to know how to do this. I mean, I'm a 90s kid, and now a whole-ass grown adult, and playing this game for me is like stepping on a Lego with your bare foreskin. Man, where is the warning sign that says, you will be playing as Buzz, so get fucking ready? Because levels do often provide you with a hint before you start, but all you get here is, keep moving and watch out for things. Yeah, very fucking helpful, thanks game. So, we do some karate chop action, and then we get another chase scene riding the skateboard dude away from Scud, who takes up half the damn screen. The only way I can describe this is that it's like a bullet hell for 6-year-olds, and you start on the final level with no power-ups. God damn is it hard, but you know what? After all of the shit I've been through with this game, I actually don't mind this. It feels like a good end-of-game challenge. And, you know, learning the patterns is actually kind of fun. You know, go figure. This is fun? Huh? With brain broken? At this point, I was expecting a boss fight with Sid, but we don't get that. I mean, we barely even get a cutscene, so instead we just move into another driving level, this time from a third-person perspective, similar to Super Mario Kart. Now, this is apparently the Genesis exclusive level, and nothing happens. Man, what a rip-roaring exclusive. Now, if you want an exclusive actually worth your time, then you should consider signing up for exclusive access over on Patreon to see me talk about the Game Boy port of this, which is a whole new level of bullshit. This is something new that I'm trying out with my Patreon rewards, doing little exclusives for each video, so if you like the sound of that, the link is in the description below.
It's just busted.
And then we move on to yet another driving level, which is the real next driving level, I suppose. Similar in vein to the one earlier on in the game, but this one is really easy. It's too easy. This is the end of the game, and this is easier than the first level. What are you doing? The final stage ends off with the toys launching from the rocket, flying Flappy Bird style over some traffic, and finally landing safely into Andy's lap. The end. 4 out of 10. Thank God it's over. I can't deny its technical achievements, but for such a brutal game that was so passionate about following the drama of the movie narrative, that ending was bare bones, soulless, and lacked the difficulty of a tutorial. Piss weak, man. Just not good enough. I don't want to play with you anymore. Okay, well, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell and turn on all notifications for this channel so that you don't miss the next episode when we'll be taking a look at Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. But until then, I'm Square-Eyed Jack, and I hope you have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.